I would like to call the April 21st, 2026 meeting to order.
Please stand for pledge. To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, I would like to take attendance right now. Mr. Schufeld,
Present.
Mr. York,
Present.
Tony Dickinson present. Peter Kehoe will be absent tonight, and this is the gentleman that we're waiting for. Are you here? All right. Everybody has been accounted for. I would like to remind the members, since Peter is not here, you will still need 3 votes for a yay or a nay on any approvals or disapprovals. So I think we'll be fine. The yes. The first administrative item is the adoption of the meeting minutes of March 21st, 2026. Can I get a motion to approve the?
I'd like to move to approve the meeting minutes of last month's meeting. I second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Our next administrative item is the review of proposed changes to chapter 285 of the city charter. We are still not ready to make our recommendations. I am going to be requesting at least one more meeting for us before we do that. So that will be tabled tonight. Yes, for the subcommittee. So we'll table that tonight. Our first item on the agenda is going to be PLPB 2026-0002 Spring Avenue. Please state your name and your position, please.
Hello, board. My name is Dan Morelli with Morelli Design and Construction. I'm representing the applicant, Mike Melville, and his proposal to construct a new wood frame multi-use facility for professional offices and warehouse space with landscaping and general site improvements at 10 Spring Avenue, which is located in the Business District, Neighborhood 3. We're here tonight seeking final approval. I did receive the staff report. I've been working with Eric very closely and Angelina with the ZBA. We did appear before the ZBA about a month or so ago, and we did get our 3 variances granted. For the side yard setback, the front yard setback, and the architectural guidelines. So that's been taken care of. We made some modifications based on planning department's recommendations. Basically added 3-foot patch of green space on the right side of the building, expanded the green space in the front on the right side of the building, and took the pedestrian walkway from the driveway and kind of moved it over more consistent with the front entrance to the building. We do have a monument sign. We did present that to Eric about a week or so ago. I'm not sure if the board saw it, but it's basically a freestanding sign. The front of the building will be 2 feet of stone, wainscot at the bottom. The sign will match that. It'll be basically 2 pillars with a sign between the pillars, done by AJ Signs. And they did look up the guidelines, so I'm sure we're okay there. We'll set the sign 3 feet off the sidewalk. We're going to put an apron, a 5-foot concrete pad with a sidewalk with a slight ramp elevated to get us the transition from 0 up to 6 inches. entrance will be over here on the left side of the building with a 4-foot transition up a ramp to the back area. The warehouse will be raised floor elevation at 4 feet. Floor elevation at the office space in the front will be at 6 inches. Does the board have any questions for me at this time?
I'm fine.
Fine, no questions? Okay, is there anybody,
Is there, we had, I'm sorry, we had, what were we still looking for?
well, we have to get
Urban runoff plan.
urban runoff plan,
Urban.
yes, but
So to address that, we've been working with ABD engineers for the past 6 weeks on that. They had it well underway until the weather broke. And then, of course, they went out to do their surveying. And they didn't get back to our urban runoff plan, but it's very, very close. And I hope that if you want to make that a condition, I hope to have that within the next 10 days or so.
is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment on this project? Zoom, no, is there anybody on Zoom? No, okay. So, hearing none, may I get a motion for final approval? For, we didn't already do secret for that? We did, yeah,
Speaker set.
yes.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to approve this project contingent on our urban runoff control plan.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You're all set to go, Dan.
Thank you, board. You've been great to work with. Thank you, Eric.
Sorry, we're gonna miss Mike. I hope he doesn't show up and it's all over.
I'm sure he won't. Thank you.
The next on our agenda will be new business. It is PLPV 2026-0022-885 Fifth Avenue. And I see we have people here to speak on the proposal. Could we have your name and your position, please?
Sure thing. Good evening. My name is Roger Keating. I'm with Labella Associates. I'm a civil site engineer. I'm here tonight to present the application for Casablanca's plan to redevelop the gas station site located as you see here on the screen and on my board. The existing site, it's around 0.29 acres in size. And it's located right at the intersection of 125th Street and Fifth Avenue here. And the site historically was a gas station, service station. Many of you probably remember this site if you've been up on the north end. Years ago, this was the gas station that was like that yellow and reddish type of looking building. It had 2 service bays on there. Used to have quite a few cars and stuff all parked around it, you know, for a long time. When that business had gone out, Al, our applicant here this evening, purchased the property, and then he looked to redevelop it back to a gas station, convenience store, minus the service of the auto dealers, you know, or auto repair that was taking place there. And he was putting a food vendor tenant in there as well. So the aerial imagery you see here is kind of where the site sits today. So around 2 years ago or so now, Al had got previously a site plan approval and had gone in, done the investment of construction, and through his construction had made some changes, which is bringing us back here to the board, so we can look to make some modifications to that so that we can, you know, get Al's business opened up. So what we see here is the the plan as it kind of is today. You can see it's really pretty much all asphalt all around. There's existing curb cuts off of 125th Street. And then it's basically asphalt all the way around until you get to Fifth, so along where Northern Drive is here. And so when we looked at the plan here moving forward, we looked at the canvas of what's been built and how we can best improve the site. And the biggest thing that jumps off the page when we were looking at that is that sea of asphalt that you see all around the property. Very little road definition between where the project site is and where the roadway is. So one of the things that we see is creating that definition and then creating defined access points. And so as you can see here, how we'll do that is by resetting the edges of the roadway, doing that by creating green space, curbing along those road edges, and then creating defined access points in and out of the project site. As the plan is shown here, there was 2 curb cuts along the 125th Street. One of those curb cuts was closed as part of this plan. We created a defined entrance point here off of New Scotticoke Road. And then we have an access drive back to a food service pickup window and an access point here off of Northern Drive. And you'll notice as well as we've kind of reshaped the entrance here at Northern Drive a little bit to provide a little bit better definition, create a bullnose for a little bit better vehicle and pedestrian circulation as vehicles are entering and exiting Northern Drive. All this being said, when the project originally had started, it was done under the previous zoning. Staff has done a great job memorializing the staff report, as we're, back before this board with new zoning in place. So there's a number of variances that will need to obtain. But we're confident that, and we're working with staff to get through those comments. So we're going to be working with them to address those items. And really what we're looking forward tonight is to, get the process started back up here with the planning board. We'd like to try to get while we're working with staff on some of those items, we'd like to get a public hearing scheduled and then initiate and begin the seeker process. And so that's what we're here tonight, is to introduce the project, reintroduce the project, and then show the improvements that we're looking to do, get your feedback in addition to what we've received from staff, and then look to move forward to get Al's site open back up. So that's my overview presentation. Al, is there anything you'd like to add to? Okay. So members of the board, I'll turn it back to you for any questions or comments that you might have. Thank you.
I have several changes that I would like to see made. I do not like the 125th Street. The second one, you've already closed up one on 125th Street. I would prefer closing the other one on 125th Street only because of the traffic. I've lived in Troy all my life. I've been through this corner since I've been 16 years old. I know how busy it can get.
Yeah.
And what I was thinking, your green space that is on the side of the building going out to Northern Drive, could that green space be shortened and that still be an in and out egress?
So this is one of the things we're considering. It was also mentioned in the staff comments, and that's going to be one of the items that we're going to look at how we could best improve and work on that circulation that you just mentioned.
Here and here. Yeah. Yes, I know. That's why we want to close it. Yeah.
So we'll look at all options here along 125th Street. Possibly closing, maybe even just restricting it to just an in or like a right out or something, or or closing it in its entirety. And then in doing so, we'd look at what you were just talking about, is
Yeah,
looking at the access point there.
Personally, I would prefer the 125th Street entrance closed. And your drive up or your pickup window, I don't believe you have enough space for traffic to go through there. I think you're required to have six car length to be able to do a pickup window. I would prefer not seeing a pickup window. Maybe you could have more parking. I don't know, but I'm not a real big fan of your pickup window. I don't know how anybody else feels about that. I know you're going to have food there, and if people want to order, drive up to the window, pick it up. My one concern also is if they're picking up food, I don't know whether or not you can do alcohol, cigarettes out that window. I would prefer that it not be done that way. And I would like to see no pickup window.
Okay, so I'll just address a few of the things, and appreciate the comment. We'll look at that with staff and as well as Al, to see, how that operation works. If it can work with what he has, planned for inside the building. It's my understanding, and Al, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that there's no order boards on the back of the building. So somebody's not driving up like you would to go to McDonald's or something like that and then placing an order
Right.
and then going to the window. So you're not going to have a stacking situation that would happen under like a conventional drive-through where you would have potential stacking at the order window and potential stacking at the pickup window. This is solely pickup, and where somebody would place an order via phone or via an app, and then instead of getting out of their car, they would simply go to the pickup window. So I understand your comment, but I just want to clarify and just let people know that there's not an order window with a speaker or anything like that outside. The other thing, and Al, once again, please correct me if I'm wrong. Al is not planning to sell alcohol at this facility. So there won't be,
So no beer, nothing.
no beer, nothing like that. So that's not in his business model as to what he'd like to do here. So, it is going to have convenience store, but it's not going to have that component to it. And the window is only for the food operation. So you wouldn't be doing like cigarettes or something like that out that window. It would only be for that provider, that he would have in the building, but no alcohol, as part of this proposal. So, but thank you for the comments. These will be some things that we can look at with Al and staff.
What are the proposed hours of operation?
Al, can you weigh in on your proposed hours of operation? So state your name for the record and, just state your name for the record and then you can address the board.
Hello, my name's Al. The hours will be 6 a.m. until 12 a.m. Just wanted to give a quick intro. We're introducing something different. It's a premium upscaled gourmet. It's not just the regular gas station that you see around. That's why we studied the area very well before making this investment. We realized that it's not our best option to have a premium upscaled gourmet, to have alcohol or beer or anything like that in there. So regarding the pickup window, I just wanted to add that it's only being in the business for so long, we realized that there's a problem. There's a lot of times where there's single mothers, they have children with them in the car, and they have a problem of getting out of the car and leaving their children in the car to go inside to grab stuff. So we came up with a solution is to have an app where you could order everything through the app, and pay on the app, and then the customer would be notified that their items that they ordered is ready for pickup. So what they would do, just pull up to the window, and just grab the bag that is already bagged up, ready, paid for. So there shouldn't be cars or anything stocked up, people ordering, paying, etc. It's just convenience for people that have, most of the times they have problems of getting out of their cars, which we realized a lot of times it's people that have children with them in their cars. We wanted to introduce something different. So everything that was laid in there, it was in a way where we're servicing people and the community in a way where we want to be different. We don't want to be just like every other Cumberland Stewart's gas station around. We wanted something different. And that's why we introduced this model. Thank you.
So people can still, I mean, people can still walk up to the store, walk inside, walk up to the counter and place an order and wait for their.
Of course, they could order. Yeah, absolutely. That's an open option, but the window is, it's now we would like to do things differently. That's our business model. We wanted to do something different.
Yep.
So our pickup window is strictly for the convenience of people not having to get out of their cars, whether it's late hours at night, early in the morning, you have children with you in the car, especially that there's a school nearby, as you know. A lot of people, a lot of parents, they have their kids, they want to make a quick stop last minute. They could just order everything through the app, pay for it, and they could just pick it up and you know, follow with their day, basically.
So the usage of the app will allow them to come to the window. Everything's prepared.
It's gonna
So
have
they're just picking it up. So
an order number, correct?
people that walk up inside, are they ordering from sort of like being in a fast food place or?
Correct.
Okay,
From the cashier, yes,
I'm-
or over the phone.
all right.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
So the existing condition now is almost like a free-for-all on that side of the building, isn't it? It seems like.
Yeah, so right now, there's no access, there's no road definition out there at all. I mean, Madam Chair mentioned this evening that she's from that area. I mean, this, from this corner of the building to the alleys, you know, wider than the Northway in pavement. So when you round that building, if you don't know where you're going, you're just in a sea of asphalt back there.
Like, can you go back to the
Oh, sure.
quotes?
Yeah, so then in contrast, what we want to do is, in one of the things that we've talked with Al and staff and met Chris Marini, the city engineer, we actually went out to the site together to kind of look at some of this condition out here to see how we can best define that intersection. And once again, as you can see, what we've done is we've created more of a conventional intersection here. We were mindful of how the stop sign rests across from that residential property that's there too, because of the way the intersection is at an angle. We're making sure that when you approach that intersection, now you're addressing the traffic, you know, with that driver in mind. Whereas under this situation, well, you could go behind that car, you know, just, you know, circumvent it completely. So.
I have another question for you. Right now, isn't this a one-way street?
Yeah, I was just gonna step in, Chris Marini, city engineer, and I just saw Mr. Maples' chat comment pop up earlier. So there was some back and forth back when Al first went through this, coinciding with a discussion of whether this road should be closed. And basically that discussion was had, and since this site plan ties so much in with city right away, I met Roger out there to discuss this, and he basically said we can make it work as a one-way, as a two-way, or a closed street. Kind of left it to me what I thought was best. It appears the road has actually been illegally signed as a one-way, and you actually, when we were out there, you even saw cars driving the wrong way on a one-way due to the width of it. So it is listed as a two-way in the local highway, New York State DOT local highway inventory. It appears, based on its width and everything else, that's actually what it's supposed to be. So that is what I wanted to maintain, and Rogers made it work. And with Al's extra work here, if this goes through, it's going to accommodate a lot of the traffic safety concerns in a way that I'm definitely sufficient with and happy with.
The green space that is by the entrance to your pickup window, the other side.
The large area here.
No, the smaller
Oh,
one.
this one here. Yeah.
So is there a jog there on purpose? It's like a chicane going to your pickup window. Is the turning radius coming off the now found two-way street? You know, is that inhibited there by that green space? I mean, I don't understand why the green space is going down like that so far.
Sure. Great question. So there's some overhead utility right here at this location. There's a power pole
Okay.
that's right in that particular spot. So
All
what
right.
we wanted to do is maintain clearance around that. You can see we put some vehicles on here to kind of
Yeah.
show how, cars could traverse this. We could most certainly open up the nosing of this a little bit more.
Seems like,
Especially here. This one's a wide sweep. This one's a little tighter.
Yeah.
We were trying to show some of the intent here, and I think I could work with Chris a little bit on that, but we're not intending to like bring big trucks or anything down that lane, for sure. So that's that chicane that you see, and that can be softened a little bit too, but was more or less trying to show that intent of getting the cars in there
okay, so the answer to the question is there's a utility pole right there. So
right
you
there.
have to go around the utility. pole.
We want to go around the
Yeah.
utility pole. Yeah.
Instead of relocating it. So there'd have to be some sort of curbing or protection.
And that's what we show on the
Okay.
plan. There's curbing there to protect that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So how, will you have tables, seating inside? None at all.
I believe it was suggested that maybe they have a couple of picnic tables outside. Was that one of the staff recommendations or?
Place making no.
Yeah, it was like, it was a placemaking element observation for food establishment.
And there might be some spots here along the side that we could do a table or a bench or something along that side. We've already looked at putting some of the other things that were in the staff report, such as bicycle racks and things like that are already into the plan, that we've been working on since, we received those comments, late last week.
So I see on the Fifth Avenue side, there's a little car. Is that going to be a parking spot? Or is that just,
I'm sorry, just here?
no?
I'm sorry. Oh, yes, we had a parallel parking space there. We felt that would be a good spot for, say, the employees, so that we're not taking spaces that are right up by the doorway. So this would be a low turnover type of parking space where you could have that person that's, one of the employees working inside could park there, and versus taking up, the prime parking right by the door.
So would there need to be any buffer there with between the parking spot and the car space? We don't need anything?
I think if LaBella can provide a turning radius overlay or something, we can evaluate that.
There's a citation in the code about parking stalls abutting sidewalks and the need for a 4-foot strip or 4-foot buffer. The parking up against the parcel's edge would be needing variances since it's within 25 feet. It's just the technical element of it.
Okay. Do
You
you
live without that parking space if needed.
We might be able to again, this would be some of the things we can work through with some of the staff review, as we get into this space. You notice we striped some of this out. We may be able to pull that space off of that so that we could get that to work a little bit better. The sidewalk, as we've shown here, it's a little different than what you saw, just as an attempt to look at how we could, work through some of staff comments about getting sidewalk, through the lanes. And, we're being mindful of like what's going on at this intersection. We thought about bringing it around into this point, but then it really doesn't create a great pedestrian node there. And we really want that to be a good pedestrian mode. So by bringing it back into the site and then bringing it here, it kind of creates a better spot for that. And it helps alleviate having to put those pedestrians next to the highway signage that's right there. I mean, I don't know about you, but what ends up happening in the wintertime, they get clipped like 4 or 5 times, they get rebolted. Now they're 6 inches lower and now they're at head height for people walking by. So we just take that equation out of there. So
if you take the 125th Street entrance out, would you be able to put another spot there? Have 2 spots for employees? And
that could be a possibility.
it certainly looks like there's enough room there to add another parking spot if they wanted to get the variance for those.
I should also mention that if there's a variance and need, you know, for like the site has limitations to it because it's only so big. So if the applicant needs a variance and you guys agree with their presentation, then your recommendation would go, you know, would have some weight to it with ZBA. So.
Okay, we could do another working session. I mean, you're certainly gonna have two people working at all times, I would assume, if not more. You're gonna need food prep people, right? Let's see.
So, currently, what have you done since the last time you were in front of the prior committee? So is that a new set of pumps and a new
Yes.
canopy?
Yeah, so there's a new pump.
And the changes in the building are what?
Yep, so you have the new pumps and canopy. So the pumps and canopy were positioned kind of where this shadow is here, and over. So new pumps and canopy to here. And then there's the small building addition along the back side of here to expand out for that food service along the back.
So that's already been done?
That's already been completed. And then the balance of it, as you can see, there was maybe a little bit of sidewalk work here. And there was a little bit of sidewalk work here.
Mm-hmm.
So the context here is this was approved
Right.
under the former code, right?
That work was,
A site plan. And Al, for whatever reasons, maybe you can speak to it, made some modifications to it and that's why he's been delayed in opening and has hired another engineer and is back here.
so
in
you're not
front-
pumping gas right
in front
now?
of us. No.
Nothing is done inside.
I see.
Yeah,
Yes, there was a building permit issue.
Yeah, the building permit would have been issued because he had site plan approval. I think what happened is he made modifications and realized correct me if I'm wrong, but past the extent that would trigger, you know, having to show up here again, essentially.
that's correct.
So
Go ahead.
do we need a variance for the location of the gas pumps?
Under the current zoning, you would need a variance for where the gas pumps are. If we were to bring a project forward today with gas pumps anywhere really within the front of the building, the new zoning code with the shape and configuration of the site would need a variance for the gas pumps, even where it was before. So
Yes, so the code has since changed since approval, so there's a lot of variances required, but a lot of them, if Al built it exactly to what was approved and was back here in front of the
So,
new code,
the
would
gas-
also
The gas
require
pump-
variances.
The gas pumps where they're located now were on the approved plans for that location. Is that what you're saying?
they've been shifted over. So they were here and now they're
So they-
here.
They were,
He shifted them to
so
the.
that wasn't on the existing.
The gas
That
pump,
wasn't-
the gas pumps were, but the exact location is different. So there were gas pumps on the plan before. They've just been moved page right here.
Which wasn't part of the.
It wasn't on the original plan,
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Now I understand.
but there were gas pumps on the plan. So it's just the
So
location.
They
is
were
changed.
fine where they were, but now you have to get a variance where they're located now.
They were fine where they were under the previous zoning. They would likely have been fine under the previous zoning here. He just, now that it's been moved, we're in a new zoning code. Case in point, the variant, the need for the variance.
But I mean, where they are now, they weren't, that wasn't part of.
It
the
was
plan
not.
to move.
You are correct. Yes.
Okay, do I understand that in order to, do they need a, special use permit?
City didn't think so.
The city didn't think so, so they don't need one.
Well, the old use of a gas station to the current use of the gas station. I would put the question to Rick if he wants to see that, but we saw it as a continuity of use as a gas service station. But you could,
I agree in this circumstance.
that you don't need.
There's a number of. I think it's on.
I don't think he needs to get a special use permit. There are a lot of mitigating circumstances in this particular site.
Okay.
I mean, I do think he needs approvals for a number of things, but that's not one of them.
Now, with everything that you have as far as the staff report and all the recommendations that they have made, I know we're missing a lot of things on this site plan. Do I understand that we do not have an updated survey?
We have a survey, but we don't have a updated survey as like right this moment.
And we do not have a site plan with elevations?
Like building elevations, you mean?
The whole building, we don't have the elevations for the building.
We do have some elevations that we can provide. The elevations would be of, you know, the photographs that you see of what's built out there today. It would just be an architectural plan. So you do have photos of the building in the application. That's what's built. That's what his plans were prepared around. If there's questions of what the building looks like, we're not proposing to make changes to like the building facade or anything like that as it stands. He's you know, what's built is what's in the photos. That's what we're providing.
Were there other significant changes from the prior approved site plan other than the canopy relocation? Like, I mean, are the building elevations and general location similar to what was approved?
I wasn't at that meeting, but
I think so, yes, correct.
So yeah, there was a deal of grandfathering with the first approval. The applicant was able to get that approval because there was no changes really. The only changes that would have been made were closing the auto repair shop. So being able to have that would allow grandfathering in, you know, if you're using the site as was. So if I recall, the old building had garage doors, things like that.
yes, they had
Big
garage
garage
doors on that side of it. Yep.
But there was no food there before. It was a repair shop is
No.
what you're saying.
Vending machines. That was about it, I think, right?
I think he sold cigarettes. You were saying.
It was a gender. and-
So now they're
Gas
preparing
station.
food and they're going to have a pickup or a window. So that is quite a difference from a repair shop. But overall, I see, you know, Chairperson Dickinson made probably the biggest point is the curb cut is pretty close to a traffic light. That is, you have a stacking issue, you have a turn issue to the left. If you were to make a left out of that, that would be a problem. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, if you would agree. And then there's a couple other comments that were made as well that would probably give us a start in getting to a better site plan that we can really look at. I mean, it's, I don't know if that's a change of use or what, but you know, you're saying the component of selling gas and some products inside. Now we're going to something that is selling gas and selling food, prepared foods.
Is it, Chair, can I ask just one question? Is there going to be a kitchen in the establishment? Is it? Where is the
Well,
food
no,
preparation taking
there's-
place?
There's a kitchen in there. You gotta use the mic. Sorry.
Everything, it's a fast food, so there is not going to be like a kitchen where people are going to be actually cooking, but everything comes pre-cooked. You just warm it up, you know, maybe put the fries in the fryer. It's a fast food chain, so It's,
I'm confused. Where's the food prepared? I mean, if if I called up and said, hey, I want XYZ, and you say, come pick it up at 8 o'clock.
yeah, I mean,
Where does the food come from?
it's every, like like they would dip the fries, like I said, in the fryer. If I don't know what you would call cooking, but it's not like a full cooking. It's like a fast food. It's difference
But I
between,
think a fryer is cooking.
yeah, I mean,
You know, and
yeah. if that's-
Fryer would
if
actually.
that's what
You're gonna need a hood. You're
Yeah,
gonna need
if
an
that's what
ansel
you
system.
define it, yes, then yes, correct. You're
Right,
correct.
so you're gonna have a kitchen,
Yes, correct. That's,
and there's a lot. It has to be looked at with that, by code.
Well, so again, there is approvals and a building permit issued. Al started building towards that permit and then made deviations, which is why he's returning back here. So this is a very unique situation.
Right.
A lot of this is already built in
Yeah.
place.
I think we go back to Rich's comments about, is this a change of use? I don't know. It seems like part of the addition to this business is now a kitchen and food. I don't know what that means. If, where that goes. I don't know if that is all in front of us or that gets worked out in a building permit, a code. I mean, there's going to be inspections, the health department, all of those things.
Like Stewart's doesn't have a fry later.
Right. They don't have they have ice cream.
They
Yeah.
got microwaves.
They have microwaves.
Microwaves,
think,
they have a pizza thing that
Right.
turns around and.
So if you have a fryolator, you need an ansel system and a hood and ventilation and all of those things. And
And you do, yeah, you have to satisfy
and the
that
health
code
department.
and health department.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a county. So those things would have to be looked at in code. They're gonna have to come in and
Correct.
say, okay, this kitchen is to code. I know.
We
because-
predominantly look at site plan approval. and
Right, I get
architectural
that. I'm not saying
decals
we
here,
look
so
at
these
it.
things get followed
I'm
up.
not
in
saying we
permitting.
look at it,
Correct.
but it is part of ultimately them getting open.
Yes, correct.
One question, if I might, if there's priors, the garbage detail and site plan review, it kind of specifically asks after whether or not there's grease storage. Does the applicant have grease storage interior, built in on the outside?
Is it inside or is it outside?
It's inside? Okay.
It's Eric, being told it's inside, based upon what the applicant is saying.
Yeah, so if it's all interior, then, that would be assessed when they submit their plans for, plans examination with the building department.
Yeah.
They would have to ensure that all that stuff is code compliant, but it
Right.
wouldn't necessarily, unless like they were going to be introducing sort of outside grease storage containers or maybe, built into the mechanical systems, subterranean or whatnot. It wouldn't, if it's stored inside, then I don't know that you guys are going to be able to.
Which brings up another.
That
point.
answers the question.
Are there dumpster, is there an enclosure for dumpsters on the plan?
Yes, we're planning for a dumpster enclosure on this side of the building right here.
And where's your snow storage going to go?
So we'll use a lot of the green space here, from a snow storage perspective. So he's likely going to have to, move some of that into these newly created green spaces, versus on the pavement. We're going to add those snow storage areas to the site plan here as we refine. But I would suspect that we're going to do some initial snow storage for any small events that are going to be taking up some of the green space. And obviously, if we get a large event, it's going to have to be taken out by their hauler, a hauler here, just given the size of the site. It's pretty small.
And the transparency, do we have to have transparency on
Facade.
all every side in the facade?
It might be sort of the front facing commercial retail. So it doesn't need to be on the backside or any of the things like that, but the ground floor facade facing is required to have 60%, I think.
Okay, and do they have that? No? Yes,
If
That's,
they don't have it, that goes through ZBA for variance.
they have to have a variance. Okay.
it's one of the few guidelines that is a must.
It's just a whole brand new parking lot. Just the whole thing new or
He's resurfaced it, since, since the former gas station was there. It's all been
so when the
repaved up,
pumps got moved, you had to excavate, obviously you had to relocate pipes and
and they resurfaced it. So it's a clean surface out there right now.
okay. And during the construction, obviously you had different phases, compaction and backfill compaction. All those inspections were done and everything's good and you're ready to go.
That's what, I was not part of the construction phase for that project, for this project, but,
Eric, you had mentioned, I think, yes, that building permits were present for the relocation or something, codes, I mean.
My understanding is that codes did review a building permit application for the canopy.
So that's a standard canopy. Is it, do you have a franchise with a fuel delivery company or?
it's Valero.
Is it? Oh, it's Valero. Okay. So they have a standard canopy that they're requiring you use, correct? This is an existing?
That's today. Yeah, actually, somebody pulled it up on Street View, Eric. Yep. Okay. So that's actually what the site looks like today.
So are these all permitted as far as the striping, the lettering? Is this all permitted under our zoning code?
Sorry, the stripe on the asphalt or the signage?
The signage.
I believe the signage now will require a variance, right?
Yes. In the, I'll reference the section just, for the record. It's chapter 285, 54B5, which is a curious regulation, but it addresses specific gas station canopy banding and striping. If I'm being honest, I wasn't aware that striping was a regulation for color coordination. Point of fact, I'm actually colorblind, so but it is in the code. It was noted in our review.
So he would need a variance for the canopy.
For the appearance.
For like the
the-
appearance, yeah,
for the-
the striping.
Stripe.
Like if you feel, that that's if you feel strongly on the subject, you could
Was it?
let the ZBA know.
Yes. I think we should let the CBA know that's okay.
Let them know it's okay that it's striped like that.
Yes.
They all
They all
look like that, yeah.
It's Valero.
So with everything that's on here, do we think that we can come to conclusions as to all the variances you need? How many variants? There's gotta be a ton of variances. 20, 15, 20?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be an interesting case to present to the ZBA. This is I think Rick should take a good look at it too, and the ZBA is gonna have to give input on it. ZBA also gives input on questions of the ordinance itself, so it's the right spot to go to next.
Well, Chairman Dickinson, do you think that at least at this meeting, we can take some of the suggestions that you had and the board had and send them off to start their ZBA process as well as the changes to the site plan?
Well, I would like to know whether or not we can declare this application complete if we don't have a up-to-date survey, nor do we have elevations.
I mean,
Also, we're requesting some changes to the actual site plan, so we need to kind of see those. So
we do have precedent, in this board of, again, granting an application complete means that you feel comfortable in a public hearing. If those changes are then presented, it doesn't preclude us for asking for more information or asking for site plan changes. Specifically, I feel like a lot of the changes that are mentioned involve city right away and my direct input because of the unique location to this intersection, which the applicant has and his engineer has worked, hand in hand with me on. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see changes here that would substantially affect a seeker determination or bring this to a point that, again, they look like, it's ultimately your call, but they look like modifications within the realm that could be worked on prior to the public hearing and submitted at that time. If not, I would just clarify to the applicant exactly what the other documents you request are, and we'll go from there.
I would certainly like to see a new site plan. With some of the suggestions that we made, if you're in agreement to make them. I would like to see them on paper and look at them again. I don't know how you want to deal with the survey or what is the protocol? I mean, can we grant this application complete without site plan elevations and a new survey?
Well, I would know, we just conditioned approval without an urban runoff and control plan, which also affects site plan. So there is precedence for it.
So you're not approving at this point either. I mean, you're only entertaining the question of whether the application is complete enough for you to schedule a public hearing and perhaps take seeker action, and actually have to take seeker action.
Right, which we can do. So,
when would you go in front of the ZBA?
We'd have to look at the meeting schedules here. Eric, I'm not sure when.
We're 2 weeks out as of tomorrow. Angie notices the neighborhood Friday, and I'm not all that sure that we can make the May meeting. But certainly reach out to her and see if you can try. She needs time to look at variance requests, though. I think that this would probably be a little bit, you'd have to talk to her, but my feeling is that it's probably not going to pan out for May. In which case I'd still recommend getting your application in as soon as possible.
So that we can at least get the administrative review parts of it then started. Okay.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be like a lot of the administrative reviews taking place. Angelina reviewed this proposal as well. So she's aware of the variances involved. Although I feel like you guys probably, Roger, you probably got a good handle on this and reducing some of these variances. So, but my advice would just be to reach out to her tomorrow as soon as possible. And that way, if she can't get you on May, then you'll be teed up for June. And it's the first Wednesday of every month. Usually the deadlines to submit, just as for the public's knowledge, the deadlines to submit for planning board and ZBA are at least 21 days.
Thanks, Eric.
Yep. It may even be beneficial for them to go in front of them, even if we're not, there's a few other variances left. Just to see what their thoughts are.
I agree.
As well.
I mean, I would still have to vet it with her because there's a deal of preparation that she requires in order to effectively convey the information to the board members.
And, we're looking at a little bit of a change to the site plan.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a small change. We're actually moving a curb cut. But overall, it looks like we're taking a free for all and at least controlling the traffic in a better pattern. But I think we need to see how that works out in the context of the parking and that could create another zoning issue with the, a variance for that when we close off that curb cut, if you're gonna increase the parking. So, I don't know, I mean. Yeah, I think you got some work in front of the zoning board.
Agreed.
Yeah.
you know,
So,
we're eager to get there.
and
Well, I believe we can still declare this unlisted under seeker.
When we hear from the public,
yes.
Want to do the
Yeah.
public first? Okay. Um. Is there anyone in the audience here tonight that would like to speak? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Martin Opoka. I live at 874th Avenue, directly behind the proposed business. And I appreciate the business owner's effort in making the building more aesthetic and your efforts in trying to lessen the impact to the neighborhood. But grandfathering that in as a gas station repair shop, and this operation that's going to go on to 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, maybe longer, is going to impact the family life of the people there. I already have been impacted with the lights shining in my bedroom. They even light up the trees in my backyard. I'm sure that can be rectified with some direction, dropping them down. The traffic in that area has always been a nightmare, and now we're gonna increase it. I don't know if it sounds like you're not gonna change that, close that road. Am I correct in what I'm hearing? That's definitely benefit, because that's an outlet for that 5-way intersection. It's just that people go the wrong way. Proper signage and maybe some enforcement might curtail that. The narrow part of Northern Drive extension, when you get down closer to the stop sign, that's, where it flows into 4th Avenue, people park on both sides of the road. And if you close that road down, that's gonna cause problems for emergency vehicles and whatnot. They're gonna have to go around and come in through there and everything. But I'm a little concerned with, the hours of operation and being able to have some quiet time to go to bed. And I get up at 5 o'clock and go to work. There's also the fumes of cooking food are gonna be exhaust right out of the back of that building probably. And right towards my house, I'm gonna be smelling food constantly. Dumpsters, I don't know where you're gonna put them, but dumpsters are gonna attract probably some rodents, which we didn't have with a gas station. Hank didn't sell cigarettes or anything there for the last 10, 15 years. So, I mean, about saying that Hank was selling anything there other than automotive supplies is not true. My family's been there for 70 years. I can remember before that cinder block building was put up. And I think it's gonna change the neighborhood. So I think whatever restrictions or whatever limits that you can put on it, I'm gonna be having cars pulling out of there at 12 o'clock at night. Probably some people are not gonna be very patient.
Can you point on where your house is?
My house is there.
Okay,
Stop sign there. Nobody, even the school buses don't stop at the stop sign, but that's not the owner's issue. It's gonna greatly impact the neighborhood if it stays open to 12 o'clock. I know some of the other same type of operations stay open even later. I guess you've already addressed the one issue, and the main issue I had was closing the street down. Snow removal for that property is also gonna be a problem. I don't know if anybody's thought about that, but you've already uncovered a whole lot of variances. I think if everybody went through it with a fine tooth comb, you'd probably come up with a couple more. I just wanted my voice to be heard. I have made other comments over the phone with people. I did send an email that whoever Will is.
Right,
Send me
and we did
confirmation.
receive it. I have read it, yes. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Polk.
I appreciate you, I don't want to be a pop number. This is your president. You'll stop that way.
Is there anybody on Zoom that,
Yes, go ahead, Stephen.
Hi, board. Sorry I couldn't be there today. But just as a quick note on the discussion with the canopy, I don't know that recommending variance on that makes a whole lot of sense. That whole section, I'd just say, refresh yourselves on that because any sort of, sort of going along with the variance here kind of undermines the entire point of the section. So I don't know that it makes a ton of sense to recommend that to grant the variance. It just kind of, it really undermines the integrity of the entire section. So if y'all feel that way, then perhaps revisiting this section and as a change to the ordinance is more in order. So rather than granting a lot of variances and such. That's all.
thank you. Al, could I ask a question?
Sure. Absolutely.
Do I understand that you own a similar gas station and food on 109th Street? Is it 109th
Yes,
Street?
I'm a part of
The
it,
five
yes.
5-star,
Yes.
5.
Yep. Been around.
And how is I read on Facebook all the time. They just love your food
Thank you.
and your sandwiches and
Thank you.
everything you put out there.
Thank you.
Are you open there until 12 o'clock?
Yes, we are. Correct. And that's why we've never had any issues. You could check the police reports, I guess, or where actually everybody asks us to open 24/7. It's a lot of work for us to do that. But again, we have similar type of business that at 5-star, and we don't have any issues. And we're a part of the community. We've been around for 15 years, and we've never had any issues. And people actually, like I said, always ask us to open 24/7. And we understand his concern as a neighbor, and we will make sure that, as neighbors, again, we get our business from the community. So, and that's the kind of relationship we have with the community. So that's something that we will definitely work on. It's not something that you guys have to enforce us to do. That's something that we would actually genuinely do as a part of the community.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
No.
Thank you.
Guys. Okay, we certainly could right now make a motion to declare this unlisted under seeker. Somebody like to make a motion?
So the seeker application usually comes out when you've found that the application is complete.
Complete? Can't do it
And then-
before.
That's what,
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a problem is that we deal with the planning regs and the seeker regs. The seeker also has a provision that uses the same terminology, but it might mean slightly different things. But I mean, if you're satisfied that you have enough information to make a seeker determination, then you can declare that the application for the seeker is complete, I guess. Do you understand what I'm saying? Have I botched it? Or, I mean, do you deem the application for the planning site plan complete? I guess that might be the.
I think the site plan needs some work. We agreed. And
Right.
no, we don't have we need a lighting plan for this because we are going into the dark hours. at
Right.
night. So those things we don't have. So as far as
The elevation
completeness
and the
of the
survey.
site plan, we don't have. As far as an application for seeker, I don't know, we kind of know where we're at with that. We know what it is. We
You have
know-
enough information to make a determination.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
We know the impact,
Okay.
we know what the operation is.
Then you can,
When,
your motion
but
for
when,
that.
with regard to, we already do have some changes in the site plan. So, I mean, that, we need to see that before we can go with saying, hey, this application is complete. As far as seeker, the application for a seeker
Right.
determination is probably.
So you're not, it sounds like you're saying you're not ready to schedule a public hearing
No.
and declare the
I- I'm not-
application,
I-
declare that
I-
application.
I'm only
You
one.
can still do the secret.
I'm one. The other board members may have some input. on
Right,
that.
I understand.
All right, so we would like to make a motion. We have enough information to declare this an unlisted under seeker. Can I get a motion for that? Yep.
I'll move to declare this an unlisted action under seeker.
A second.
Everybody?
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion has passed. I believe at this time we can also make a motion to declare this under seeker as a negative declaration.
I think we have to see the advanced site, the next site plan.
So,
That's my opinion.
all right, so how would you gentlemen like to continue? Are we going to make a motion to declare this application complete, or are we going to ask them to come back for another go round?
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of work to do. They're not going to be able to be in front of a hearing. They have a lot of variances that they have to go through. That's going to take some time. We don't know if they're even going to get in front of the ZBA in May. So we're not holding them up. They have to do some work on the site plan. They've got this other approvals that they need from another board. So, I think that I think the next meeting they come back and with the changes to the site plan, the lighting plan,
Survey.
the survey, and
Elevation.
and see where you're at with the ZBA at that
Yeah.
point.
Site plan elevations. Yeah.
May I interrupt?
Yes,
Are there, in there, are there any variances that you would recommend the applicant get? Or to the ZBA?
Well, if there's a variance needed for the Valero sign, I think, we're gonna have to recommend that. They can't operate a franchise named Valero probably without their signage requirements.
I think they have a list there. I mean, if you wanted to make any mention of variances that you feel the applicant should be granted, then at least if not on the record tonight.
They
just
could email the ZBA
email the
individually
ZBA.
as well.
Yep.
If that's easier.
Yeah. No, I don't see.
Just wondering if any of you felt strongly on some. I note the canopy banding and striping is one of them, so.
I mean, it's already there. It's what Valero puts out there on every gas station, so. I don't have a.
But you don't have to tonight, but like, just understand that if you guys review any of those variances and email the ZBA, that has some standing.
Yeah, I believe, the canopy we could recommend to the ZBA. We can't do that. Yeah, so at least that one jumps off the page.
All right, so what we're going to do right now is ask you to come back. If you have your ZBA meeting in May, you can come back in May. If not, we still want,
So we could
Would,
still
would you
look at-
not, what if they make the adjustments? Your concerns, which I believe is a lighting plan is the documents. What is the documentation that you're not requesting for complete application? Or that's prohibiting
So,
you?
and the site plan is a significant change with regard to the curb cut.
and elevate site plan with elevations and new survey.
Okay. And so if these are prepared and they address your concerns, even just let's say they can't get in for all their variances to be approved or reviewed by ZBA, would you still be open to application completeness next meeting?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, again, there's precedence for that for
Yeah,
Yes.
conditioning public
Yeah,
hearings
you know,
based on ZBA.
I think we need to see it. And does that trigger another, we have to look at the setbacks when you're changing that curb cut. That could change some other things with regard to the site plan that are unrelated to the curb cut. So, we need to see it. And, I think that's where we're at. Meanwhile, they've got a lot of work to do anyway. So, come back with the completed changed site plan with the lighting plan, get a survey. And then we'll have a better handle on the whole thing in a month.
Yeah, I think it would be appropriate to allow them the opportunity to come back next month.
Right.
To get to a complete application.
For sure.
Okay, so we would like you to come back next month, hopefully with new site plan, elevations, survey, lighting. And if we can get all that looked at and approved, we would certainly then deem your application complete and schedule a public hearing.
Okay. So Eric, just so I'm up to speed here, we'll reach out tomorrow regarding the ZBA process. If we're not able to be on that next ZBA meeting, anything we can do just so that I feel like we can get rid of some of these variances, as we've talked about. I think just by making some minor subtle changes, they'll go away. But I would like to be proactive as we are going through this process so that we're not waiting on a monthly cycle.
Yes.
I really want to I appreciate staff and Chris's efforts, from that perspective. So go ahead, Chris, you were saying something.
Do you have any interest in like designating a member subcommittee to meet with them if available or anything?
It's a lot of work. I think they're going to be okay. They have more work to do.
Okay.
I think we can work most of this out with staff, to be honest with you.
Can. I'm
So
very encouraged that you can do that. My question still remains, is New Turnpike going to stay one way or two way?
Two way.
It's legally two ways.
It's legally a
Two-way.
two-way.
So there is a sign there that says one way, correct, on Fifth Avenue? One way going,
It's not legally signed.
well, I know it's not, but somebody's gonna have to take it down.
Yes.
Again, it's, to me,
But you live in that neighborhood.
the scrutiny is,
Don't take it down.
this project's a win in my books, right? You've seen how hard I've pushed for developers to improve the public right of way and the pushback I've gotten in this past year I've been here. And here we have a developer who's gonna improve public safety on a city right of way. So like this whole thing is a win in my books, and it's for those parts of the
So
concern.
where did the sign come from? Do you have any idea?
It was there since 2011 on Google Earth, so it happened a
Really?
while ago. And
Wow.
I don't have Street View before that.
And
So
apparently it's universally ignored.
Chris was there with me. We watched vehicles together go. the
No
wrong
one
way.
believes it's one way.
So
Do we get a hold of DPW to tell them to take the sign down?
The traffic.
we
ultimately, the
can.
traffic unit will.
Again, the existing configuration of the roadway is poor. It's like
Yeah.
I'm almost like I don't want to touch it till it's done right. Maybe or we take the sign down now, but it's just under the proposed configuration, the narrowing, the bump out that helps break out the line of sight. To the intersection, I like it as a two-way. Right now, I don't like it anyway. So,
It will be resolved though. Okay. We have a traffic unit that can install and take down signs.
Okay, so just procedurally then, is there just a motion then to table that for tonight? Is that what we're doing?
I don't think we need a motion. You
Okay.
can come back, right?
All right,
We'll
just want to make sure.
we'll call you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you.
Probably should do a motion though.
Oh,
I think you should do a motion actually just to table it. For the next
Okay,
meeting.
Do we need a motion to table or just, they're just coming back, they can get on schedule again, right?
Right.
listen to Rick.
I'd like to move to table this project until the next meeting.
Second.
Everybody agree?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Perfect.
Okay, motion's passed.
A board can only act,
That was more of a question.
a board can only act as a,
We were acting by being silent.
So
Okay.
so for the record, the next meeting is May 19th.
All right, the
What is it?
all right. So our next
Port store.
project on the agenda is PLPB 2026-002288. No, we just did 885. Why don't we go to the next one? PLPB 2026-0023, 158 4th Street, the old Troy Park Store.
Good evening. My name is Kelsey Carr. I'm the civil engineer with the project from Labella Associates. I'm joined by Charles Mayer, the architect, also with Labella, as well as the applicant and owner of La Capital Tacos, Yair De La Rosa. So this property is located at 158 4th Street. It's at the corner of 4th and Ferry Streets. The property itself is 6,900 square feet in size. So the existing building was most recently known, as you said, as the Troy Pork Store, but has since been vacant for almost 20 years after their closure in 2008. So the previous property owner started interior demolition, but left the building in a state of disrepair. So a structural evaluation was conducted by SB Engineering on March 26th, and it determined that the building is missing critical structural components that are needed to resist standard gravity, lateral, and wind loads. So therefore, it's unsafe for occupancy and a hazard to public safety. So that documentation was submitted to the city, and the building was then condemned on April 8th, recommending that the building be demolished as soon as is practicable. So this building is a listed historic structure, so that adds a level of complexity to this. So we did submit to SHPO for their review. We did receive initial archaeological comments from them that recommend completion of a Phase 1A, 1B survey. So we've started conversations with an archaeological consultant, Hudson Valley Cultural, but we're awaiting correspondence from SHPO regarding their full review of the demolition and the proposed project before we initiate those services. So these here are a few photos of the existing building elevations from Ferry Street and 4th Street. As you can see, the building's in rough shape. And these are some interior photos. So basically, like the entire floor structure was removed, which makes it very, very unsafe. And there's not appropriate bracing. So for this proposal, we're planning to demolish the building and basically all of the site components that exist today. The property is located in the downtown mixed use district and the neighborhood 4 development intensity zone. So we are basically, so the existing building is roughly 1,580 square feet. The proposed building is around 4,130 square feet, so it's going to be larger and it's going to extend to the two side property lines and a little bit further back into the property. Other site improvements will include resetting of the existing curb and replacing the sidewalks in the right of way. There will be 3 grass paved parking spaces that will include 1 accessible space at the rear off of the alley. And then there will be a 12-foot wide gravel pave access drive for truck deliveries to the rear doors. We are providing an exterior bike rack. There will be a trash storage enclosure, which will be a black PVC coated chain link fence with privacy slats. All of the exterior lighting will be building mounted. So I'm just looking at this in terms of zoning compliance related to neighborhood 4 development intensity zone. We are complying with all the major components with regard to the building placement, height and frontage, parking and accessory structure setbacks, maximum impervious coverage, as well as the right-of-way encroachments. So from there, I'll turn it over to Charles for some architectural updates.
Hello, Charlie Meyer from Labella. For the record, I'm not the architect of record, but a project manager and designer. Just real quickly, how do I get to the next guy? Okay. So, from an exterior perspective, we're making a corner presence, using the guidelines and creating the base and storefront and awnings to relate to the pedestrian scale and vehicular scale. Material wise, we're still developing that. And I understand after seeing some comments that the corner entry would require a variance, so we'll be eliminating that and having it perpendicular to 4th Street. From a plan perspective, that feels like we're in good shape where we're oversizing the storefronts to increase the indoor-outdoor relationship. And while it would be nice to have operable windows, it's not exactly practical for a dining venue on that corner. Beyond that, we're looking at some of the comments that we recently received and look forward to your input. So we can, I mean, these are some first blush. This is an interior perspective with an open kitchen, and you can see the oversized windows to increase the interaction street to interior. And then this is a first blush of an exterior rendering where we haven't settled in on materials, but we do see earth tones as being a priority to complement the earth tones, you know, in the adjacent buildings. And then, you know, beyond that, scale wise, I think we're in good shape, but material wise, I understand there's concern. And, you know, like I said, we're looking forward to your input. I did notice one comment was regarding some lighting. The under canopy lighting shouldn't be an issue. Those are opaque canopies, either standing seam or opaque fabric, and all building mounted lighting will be night sky compliant.
So I just wanted to address quickly some of the staff note comments that we received. So as I indicated, coordination with SHPO is ongoing. We're hopeful to receive a full response from them back next week. And then in our next submission, we are looking to evaluate and include updates related to the truck loading zone, which will be within that gravel access drive at the rear. We will provide more detailed design for the outdoor seating. And with that, there'll be some kind of landscaping buffer from between the seating and the sidewalk and the seating and the parking. And then we are also going to evaluate if we can provide a dumpster instead of the trash bins that we were proposing. But we need to look at circulation of the garbage trucks. And then the signage will be revised to meet the 32 square foot maximum. And then we'll take another look at the ground floor transparency and try to hit the 50% requirement. So I guess with that, our goal is to start the seeker review for the project. It is, I believe, an unlisted action. We would be looking to, I think, try to submit for next month's meeting to come back to you guys, potentially for the public hearing if you're open to that. And we're just looking for input from the board. So I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, questions?
Chair, can I just say one thing?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. I heard the gentleman say that you were going to not seek the variance for the corner entrance. I just want to point out that, I mean, just from my point of view, the building across the street has a corner entrance.
It does,
And
for right now.
it would kind of match it, but I mean.
No, that's it. We're of the opinion that it's.
But it's your project.
Right, no, but we're of the opinion that's the right way to go. But we're interested in moving the project forward, and if the variance was gonna be something that, you know, prolong this effort, we would design it perpendicular to the road. And then once we're into it, we could seek the variance after that, but I think it works either way. I think the important thing is the presence of some sort of tower element on the corner. So, but these are details that are still being worked out.
To be clear, I'm not a member of the board. I'm just a lawyer, but.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if any of the board
long-time city
members have
resident.
thoughts on that, we'd be open to it.
Yeah, I actually like the corner entrance, and I think it has that, it brings out the whole area. So I'm a fan of it.
Eric, do you know, is that in the historic district or was it a historic building?
Yes.
Yes, it's across the street from our local historic district. And it is within the state and national boundaries.
So HRC only is required to review projects within our local historic district or maybe the view shed as well of it?
Yeah, so HRC is required to be consulted when it's in the local district. And then if it's adjacent to, customarily or historically, it might be advised that they consult them. You know, they may have recommendations on color, but also given that this was submitted to SHPO's CRIS system, I believe they may come back with comments that may just be essentially analogous to what HRC would review it for. So, I mean, it doesn't cost anything for an applicant to consult HRC. They might want to go and talk about like colors, they mentioned earth tones and stuff like that. So that's something that has been.
The local district though is on the other side of Ferry?
Yes.
Okay, so it stops at Ferry.
Yes.
There.
It has a weird little boundary to it, right? It kind of cuts in, cuts out, and goes all the way around and
The
whatnot.
courthouse, Sage, or on, that's all Ferry.
Jerry
This is on the
Yates
other
is
side
out.
of Ferry, and then but it was an historic building. Was it on the National Registry, the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's within the national boundaries. Now, I think I'm not sure if you read the letter, but the building itself, I think the building is registered, the current existing pork store
Yeah,
building.
it's on the state and national register. And then the property is also separately listed because of the former Troy pottery. That dates back to like 1799.
Right, so you think you're going to be hearing from SHPO, will they be starting right away as far as digging and doing whatever they have to do in the backyard to see what's there?
Well, we're waiting on the letter to see what their reaction is.
Mhm.
Right now, if we're looking at some.
Please speak into the microphone, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Usually carry. Right now, with just a preliminary investigation, there were 5 buildings on the site behind the pork store after the turn of the century. So a good percentage of the site has been disturbed.
Mhm.
We just don't know how much, and we need to find that out before we do any of that. If it doesn't require it, great, but otherwise we have some folks ready to jump in and take a look. We did wonder about the demolition. As long as our demolition doesn't impact excavating, which it won't, are we allowed to proceed with that? once we see what the letter contains, we should have that by the 30th.
There you.
That was the hinging factor as far as the test pits in the phase 1A in the backyard as to whether or not there was substantial previous structures built on top of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the building is the existing footprint is 10 foot lower than our proposed footings. So we wouldn't be disturbing anything. We wouldn't be digging. You know, the only thing that's coming up are there's some pavers that are on site and some planners that kind of define the perimeter. All that stuff is just being moved off to the side, and the building, because of the abatement and everything, is being basically surgically removed from the corner. So we're waiting to see the letter from SHPA. We're waiting from National Grid to make sure that the overhead line is attached. All their utilities are taken care of, and it sounds like both the city and it sounds like we're allowed to knock it down. We just want to make sure we do it properly in the right order. So
You've already gotten a demo permit?
we applied for the demo permit.
I'm
We
sorry,
can't
I know your
even-
voice carries, but could you
Oh,
please?
sorry. But we applied for the demo permit. I don't think it was going to be granted until we had permission from.
I told them to hold off until after this meeting, just as a courtesy, which, you know, quite frankly, is a risk on my own personal end, because this structural engineering report is very concerning. I mean, it's an imminent danger of collapse. It's lost structural integrity. But due to the historic nature of the site, we are, and the other, you know, backyard elements, we had them barricade, fence off the sidewalk with proper signage and all of that, which it currently is. And we are, I literally just want to wait for, as a really just general courtesy, to just in case anything is brought up in a way that can be, you know, as demolition is staged, prevented from having other damage. It will be difficult to, you know, require them to do anything within the building, given the structural shape. Like the building's gonna have to go.
It's history.
It's history now.
History.
It's unfortunate, but it's structurally unsound, and, you know, not in the game of putting lives in danger. So
You need a further sign off from SHPA or not?
no.
No, but we were waiting for that. The letters, we're supposed to get it by the 30th, right? So it was.
But it's your call too. I don't want to hold off and not, like, because it is standard, so. Yeah. We're trying to balance everything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you'll probably hear from the building department, you know, when some of those other National Grid documents and things.
It's got the letters from everybody except the electrical.
Yeah.
And they took the meter and everything, it's gone. There's no active line, but we're not allowed to detach it. So they told me they would be there between 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon and May 12th. So we're hoping that we get a little sooner than.
Wow.
I thought that was a joke first.
It's
I
not.
realized we're talking
That's
about
what they told us was between 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon and.
The city water has confirmed that cutoff?
City water and gas.
Gas,
okay. Yeah.
We can talk to Grid as well.
So tonight, what are you seeking from the board tonight?
That it's a complete application.
Yeah, is it possible to deem it complete?
I mean,
And then we can go back and work on these, because we've actually already taken the comments, and we have new elevations developing and everything. Would like to get on the agenda. The goal is to get a new set of drawings in Monday, the 27th, in order to be on the agenda for next month.
So these drawings these are just impressions of what you want to.
Well, it's
So
a
you're
reaction. It's a reaction to the comments that we saw that involved, you know, the gravel driveway we're gonna have a pervious paper that has the gravel in it. The percentage of transparency, we're adjusting that. The corner entry, for now, we're moving it perpendicular to the, and we're looking at building materials. Because I know that while this is all going on and we'll get that letter and people are gonna react to things, you know, we need to have a plan one way or another. So.
When staff reviewed this, they checked all the boxes on the site plan checklist, and they hit all the major components of a project. They provided elevations, they provided their surveys, they provided their site plans, they provided their seeker forms, their complete streets forms. So staff are comfortable with the idea of a complete application.
Public hearing or no?
Well, we have to deem the application completely subject to.
Oh, you have to declare seeker.
Oh.
Unless.
I make a motion to deem the application complete.
A second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Seeker.
Yeah. All right, can I have a motion to have this listed under seeker as unlisted?
Take to make a motion to declare this a unlisted action under seeker.
Okay.
Second.
Third.
Okay, motion is carried. Oh, I believe until we hear from SHPO that we need to hold on a negative declaration. So we can't do that
Yes.
tonight.
Need a vote on my motion. We got to vote on my motion,
What motion?
the unlisted action.
Oh,
Under
didn't we
seeker.
just do that?
We did.
No, we seconded it, but we didn't vote.
Oh.
We did?
Whatever.
Just
Favor,
aye. There we go.
motion's carried. Okay,
So the next time you come, we should have more information as regards, I'm sure the building's gonna be gone.
They said
Are you going to
if we went to the
extend the
the
public?
1A, 1D archaeological, if those end up being required, about a month
Yeah,
process,
I'm just wondering what to expect next.
I would expect revised elevations, more detail on the exterior elevation, on the exterior seating.
Okay,
A detail on the awnings so that you know that they're opaque. A material palette, probably 2, and a response to whatever we receive on the 30th from SHPO.
so have you made any contact with HRC at all? Have you heard any, have you gone back and forth at all with HRC?
No.
Okay,
Are they required to?
No, consultation with HRC in this instance is not required.
Right.
You know, it might be recommended. As I said, there's no cost involved and it probably isn't going to shed a whole lot off of anything, but it's not a requirement like it would be in the local historic district, which is across the street.
Which we're sensitive to. You know, we're not trying to put up Vegas on the corner there.
right. Well, no matter what you do, they're gonna have comments,
Everybody does.
so. Okay,
Do you want to do you feel like you can schedule their hearing with their complete application or would you, do you
do they
think?
feel that they will be ready for us to schedule a public hearing next month? 2
Next month,
months?
yes.
2 months, 1 month,
Next month, yes.
next month?
unless SHPO says you gotta,
Well, that, yeah, if something
so,
out of the ordinary happens and we,
I would say that because they probably want to hear from SHPO before issuing a determination.
for sure.
So whether or not
so when we get that letter, we copy you guys on it, right?
Yep, yeah, and we'll get a copy of it most likely too. But there may be additional measures that an applicant might need to take when given a response from SHPO.
For example.
To commemorate the memory of a historic structure of some sort. Right. We had another instance of another building similarly where we received a letter where they kind of listed some bullet points, sort of suggestive actions to mitigate the impact of the demolition, which is from their standard, typically an adverse impact when it's demolition.
And that's what the archaeologist had said. in this case, because it's a safety hazard, some of the things we can do is
Documentation, yeah.
documentation, interior, exterior, photographic and otherwise. And any research that we find, we can compile it and it gets registered somewhere.
Yeah, those details and how that's done is, is very well detailed in the letters that we received from SHPO. So I assume that they'll probably offer kind of an option of suggestive actions to mitigate the impact. And some of those are just like you said, it might just be sort of documentation, pictorial evidence, some degree of commemorative action. So it just I don't know what those might be. So
there might be pork tacos.
Yeah. So I mean, they'll just, before issuing a final approval, probably want to hear back from SHPO. But like they do have a complete application in our assessment. So
if we were to schedule a public hearing, is it possible to pull from the agenda if
of course, yeah.
whatever comes back from SHPO is okay?
Yep.
So in order for us to declare a negative declaration, can we do that the same night that we have the public hearing? That's. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody here feel that we should go to HRC or?
You don't have to.
No.
They don't feel recommended. If
We
you
can
want.
Say, so.
With regard to HRC, they're an advisory kind of committee. I guess we're saying the city's boundaries where they might have, we need to talk to them would be across the street. I think that they are interested in hearing about this for sure. Yeah. I think that there's activity on that site going back to the 1700s, I believe. And the pork store is spelled, I think that might be pre-fire, as a matter of fact, which is interesting. I mean,
when was the fire?
Which one?
1860.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Pottery District itself still has wooden houses, and after the fire, you couldn't build wooden houses. So it looks like a federal style, so.
The pork store was 1918.
I heard that it was previous to that. So,
and
that was as of yesterday.
Okay.
No, the pork store is clearly it's going, we get that. But, that was actually mentioned to me by someone from the HRC. So they've already done a little homework. They do have some comments, I believe.
Okay.
Wouldn't hurt to see what they have to say.
There is someone specifically or any?
Yes.
What at SHPO?
To go through HRC.
Oh, yeah, you just reach out to Will Hancock, he's our front desk man. So he'll, just let him know that you're interested in having a talk with them, and he'll tee you up in the next.
I mean, it'll be better than a root canal, so, but, I just know they have an interest in everything that is even proximate, and this is quite proximate. The building across Ferry does have a corner entrance, and, but this doesn't look like that building. And
but the line's got to be drawn somewhere.
I get it, but this could be in a suburban plaza as well. That's what it looks like. So you might want some input from them with regard to that. The concept, obviously, this is fine. The elevations were kind of quick here, and we need some more.
Absolutely. These are still being developed.
Yeah, we don't want, it can't be looking like an Applebee's,
Not going to look like an Applebee's.
Okay.
And the materials, even even if it were to be proposed a metal panel, these are high-end products that are sustainable. They're meeting energy codes, all the other things that we have to consider. So but we understand both perspectives, and we're still getting it together.
I think the people in the city are really sensitive to an old building getting torn down. I mean, seriously, this is like people get really upset. I've been downtown for 35 years, and man, people go nuts, right? If it's a vacant lot, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
So it just behoove yourself, because these people can, maybe create some negativity we don't need. And we'd like to keep it positive. So let's behoove yourself to reach out.
The HRC meets every second Tuesday of the month. Correct? Yeah, that's where I'm going. Every second Tuesday of the month.
Well, we can get their input informally,
Right, you can get it from Will and that would be great. Their gravel paved, does that have to be okayed by code? In order, will they have,
Yeah, so that the reason that came up is typically an approved parking surface doesn't have gravel in the city of Troy. But that's like compacted gravel that we're usually talking about. Gravel paves got a grid underneath it, which is, observed. I don't know. I would just want to get a clarification from the director of code that despite the use of stone, that the framework structure of the gravel pave would be sufficient. I can't. That's why the recommendation is to confirm with the director of code enforcement if that's an acceptable parking surface.
Okay. Though we want to prevent any sort of erosion and anything like that. And we also want to limit the amount of heat and everything. So
No, I mean, like kudos that you're trying to make this a pervious surface for sure. It's just, I was once upon a time a code officer and usually gravel was, an unapproved surface.
Okay.
other questions?
You want to schedule it?
Is your urban runoff and control plan and stormwater is that gravel paved important to that?
So we did not prepare an urban runoff control plan because my interpretation of the code is that it's a redevelopment where we are not meeting the threshold for either existing impervious or quantity of disturbance. So I think we are under those thresholds.
Are you under the threshold for CSO permit review?
Or yes, yes.
So wait a second, the existing building was how many square footprint?
It was 1580 square
And
feet,
the new building, the footprint is,
4,130.
so you've got a lot more roof,
Yes.
right?
I mean-
A lot more runoff off of roof.
But we're talking about a
storm sewer.
We have a lot of stuff going in the storm sewer. So, I mean, I don't know, Chris, do you need a report on that? I mean, it's almost 3 times the size, 3 times the water.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna read a provision. I could probably say it's been an oversight. Urban runoff control plan. It's required for alterations of existing paved areas that equal or exceed 5,000 square feet of disturbance. Of existing paved areas or new development that creates 2,500 square feet or more of new impervious area.
So there's less than 5,000 square feet of existing impervious, and we are not increasing impervious by 2,500.
It's the portion of the site from the building south is concrete.
Okay.
I'm looking at that from how like DEC would interpret things, but obviously the code is for
Could
the
you
city.
read that again?
Why don't we just review this closer internally?
I just like to hear it.
Yeah.
Alterations of existing paved areas that equal or exceed 5,000 square feet of disturbance or involve 20 or more parking spaces. B, a new development that creates 2,500 square feet or more of new impervious area.
So your position is that the existing concrete in the back is now impervious. So therefore a roof going over that would be impervious as well?
Yeah. Yeah, the current pavers that are in the back are impervious pavers.
All the way to the alley?
No.
Is it-
No, I mean,
There's concrete from the building to the existing building. It's behind that, the masonry wall along Fourth.
Okay,
So all that's impervious.
okay.
And then we hit gravel, stone, pavers, grass, alley. But we don't exceed the 2,500 square feet.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Are you able to get any kind of flow calculations? I think our DPW staff or DPU staff may have had some concerns about the CSO.
I might be blending projects together, but I thought we did submit a sanitary letter.
Let me double check your packet. I think you did too.
Oh, we did.
Yes.
I think we should evaluate all this closer. I don't think it substantially changes application completeness. These things can be handled through the permitting process but still, and if they do need to progress, then we ask them to progress prior to the public hearing.
I think the question will come up again. So, yes, I agree.
And yes, you did submit that.
Okay.
So want to declare the application complete and.
You want to listen to the public before
Yeah.
motion?
Is anybody here?
We never are required to listen to the public unless it's a public hearing. But if you want to extend it prior to motioning.
I'd like the input if there
Yes.
is. Anyone?
Hi, I own 166 and 168th 4th Street, so it's about 3 houses down from the current Bork store. I've been there since Black and White Taxi was in the current La Capital, and La Capital Taco has brought nothing but positivity to that block. They've been such a great addition, and I'm really excited for them to continue to expand and do well. The clientele, everything, they've been really responsible, active parts of the community, and so I just wanted to point that out as the board is reviewing everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody on Zoom?
Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, I just wanted to maybe try to get a little bit of clarification in the discussion of the pervious services. And it's basically that as of a few years ago, there was nothing in that back lawn area. And now the pavers that are there, if I'm understanding correctly, are being discounted from the pervious services. So I'm just trying to understand how those pavers that are now there are impacting the calculation for perviousness.
Those are not being included in the calculation. The calculation is based on the concrete that was poured when the pork store was still in business between the store and the existing building to the south. Any improvements made in the last 5 years hasn't weighed into any of them.
Awesome. Thank you.
There's no one left on Zoom.
One left on, okay. So.
Let's schedule a public hearing.
Yeah.
Good. So I assume that you are prepared with whatever was on the staff report to work with everybody and get everything settled. Your
Yes.
sidewalks and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Okay. And you will meet with HRC.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So do you feel that you're ready for scheduling a public hearing, a month, 2 months? What do you?
As long as long as there's nothing unforeseen in the letter we get from SHPO,
So
which we should see by the 30th.
by the 30th, so
So
next,
we're gonna have everything addressing the comments that we've seen submitted on the 27th so that we're on the agenda, but then there may be subsequent changes if we need to between then and the meeting, and we'll do what we can to get those to you guys before.
So we'll see new elevations before, and with enough time,
On the 27th, you'll see new elevation.
and a complete site plan
Yep.
with those. With enough time for us to take a look before we have a potential public hearing.
Yes.
Okay. So,
so if we have those by the end of the
Yeah.
month, you're saying the end of this month?
The 27th. Yeah.
Okay, so then let us schedule your public hearing for May 19th, and if you feel that you're not prepared, we can just take you off the list if that's necessary.
Okay.
Sounds great.
How's that go?
do I still have a motion?
Okay,
All right, I'd like to make a motion to schedule a public hearing on this project for May 19th.
I second the motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thanks.
One action left. One action left. One action, motion.
Yeah, to adjourn.
To adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.